What's YouTube? Dayham's the wargames, bringing you, as you can see, a pure Sky Striker deck profile. Now, Sky Striker's got a little bit of a plus from Southern Lake Horizon in the form of Hayate. Hayate basically allows you to attack directly and also send a Sky Striker card from your deck to the graveyard after damage calculation. So it's very, very good to help build up your boards, build up your graveyard, sorry. Plus the link marker is bottom left, so it no longer gives your opponent a zone and gives you an additional zone, which then helps you contribute towards the OTK in the deck. And I will show you the 2-card combo to contribute towards the OTK towards the end of this profile. So, without further ado, I'm going to take you through the profile, show you what we've got, and explain why we've got it. Now, of course, we've got Triple Ray. Now, the reason we've got Triple Ray is it is actually really, really powerful. The fact that if your opponent gets rid of any of your link monsters, you bring her back, and then you get to tribute her off to make, like, a Kagari, or, of course, you can make a Suzuku. Suzuku in the end phase will give you something different. The Kagari will let you recycle something in your graveyard. On top of that, if you do play Darkest Diabolus, which we do in this deck, you can then bring Diabolus out, and that can cause your opponent more issues because you can then get them to return a card to their hand, back to the bottom or top of their deck. Triple Phantom Skyblaster, obviously this is part of the OTK, you need him, he's very, very important. Entirely up to you if you want to play him or not. Some people might not consider this as being pure, but I think the Phantom Skyblaster is the best way of using and abusing the Sky Striker's abilities to get you that OTK play. That is mainly what he's there for, is to get you the OTK play, or of course to push yourselves through to go into like your Phoenix or any of your other higher link 2s to kind of clear any dangerous back row, or of course get an additional spell in graveyard to use and abuse your effects of your Sky Striker's spells. And then of course we've got the one Darkest Diabolus. Now what you've got to remember about this card is, yeah, he's a 3k beater, so he's very, very good on that one, but you do have to get rid of him if you have a handful of spells and traps, sorry, a handful of the Sky Striker spells, because of course he'll be in your main monster zone. Which isn't bad, because what you do is you tribute him off, get your opponent to return a card from their hand to the bottom or top or bottom of the deck, which can then cause them issues because that could be their only hand trap, or it just makes them lose resources. Then you can start pushing your plays through with Ray, and then if you tribute Ray off again, you bring back Diabolus and you go in for game. Then for the hand traps, now the hand traps is just an example. We've got 2 Ash, 2 Droll and 2 Veiler. These are entirely up to you. The ratios you want to play this, the way I see it is there's 6 hand traps in this deck, whatever 6 you choose to play. In my personal opinion, Ash is the strongest right now, and of course it will become more easily accessible for us. Droll is more for the meta, the way the game is going right now with Go Keys, Sky Strikers. There's a lot of searching, so stopping the search is very, very important. And Effect Veiler, again, is also very, very important. These can easily be Ogres if you want them to be, or on top of these could be another Ash and another Droll. Entirely up to you, open up to personal opinion. I'm just saying that I don't think more than 6 hand traps is necessary. 6 is the perfect number. It's just down to your personal preference on ratios and the way you want to play them in this deck. Now onto the spells. Now as you can see, we do have a very hefty stack of spells. The black sleeves are cards that I bounce between decks, so all my more expensive ones like Ash and stuff like that, so do not worry about those too much. We've then got triple Sky Striker Hornet Drone. Again, you saw what the World's Ban List did to this. This card is incredibly powerful and is your second part of the 2-card OTK combo. Triple Engage, a search and then a draw is just busted as hell. Triple Widow Anchor, a negate and then a steal, again, incredibly busted, very, very powerful card. Double Afterburners, now this is questionable sometimes. I just really, really like Afterburners, because it's a non-target back row destruction, but then on top of that you could also go with your Jamming Waves to deal with non-targeting boss removal as well. But on top of that, obviously, because it doesn't target any of the back row, your opponent has to deal with it or get rid of the monster, or chain their card, so it can be very, very issues. Because you activate this, target their monster, pop that monster, and then after you've done that, they don't get a chance to chain their card because it doesn't target the card. So either they then have to exert their resources early enough, or you get to get rid of cards that could be problematic. 2 multi-roll, 3 you don't really need. You search it enough and it stays on board 9 times out of 10. The fact that it can then get rid of a card, which could also be the field spell or Ray or Kagari, to protect your cards from being ashed, ogred, anything like that. Your opponent can't respond to your activation effects. And then the fact that it resets spells and traps from your graveyard, or Sky Striker spells and traps from your graveyard with different names during the end phase is busted as hell. On top of that, of course, this combos off very, very nice with Suzuko, and then you can push your plays further forward that way. We've then got the one Jamming Waves, opposite of Afterburners. The one Hercules base, just to the draw power, the additional destruction power, and the recycle ability. Double airspace, very, very good card. Mills the top 3 card, or reveals the top 3 cards of your deck. You get to add a Sky Striker from them, and then you pop a card that you've targeted with its effect. So that can then be, like I said, a Kagari Shizuku. But what you've got to remember as well is you can chain the quick plays. So if you've got the quick plays face down, you can target them, chain them, and then you don't really lose anything. The one Terraforming for those two. Triple Call by the Graves. There are hand traps around. You want all your effects to go off as quickly and as efficiently as possible, so you need to be able to stop them as best you can. Triple Foolish Bearer of Goods. Obviously, you can put your Engage in the graveyard to get your plays off of Kagari, but you can also put this guy in there, and that is Metaphysed Fusion for an additional draw. Plus, it gives you 2 spells in graveyard already, so you only need 1 more, and then all of your second abilities of your Sky Striker spells are live. The one Rhoda, again, gets it in the graveyard, searches you out your array. Upstart Goblin, again, gives you an additional draw, puts a spell in the grave. Yes, you give your opponent a K, so it kind of counteracts the OTK, but it gives you that additional draw and an additional spell in grave. Same with Pot of Desires now. The idea of Pot of Desires is you can go through your deck very, very quickly. You do a lot of searches. You get out your main targets that you really, really want, and then you have the ability to recycle them from grave. So Desires isn't the end of the world, as long as you've made sure you've drawn into all the cards you need or got and searched out all your cards you need. Now to the extra deck. Of course, we've got 2 Hayate. Don't need this at 3. It's too cloggy at 3 in the sense that you'll never go into a third. There's space for better cards in there. Triple Kagari, you'll always go into 3 of this one. It is your first step token. And then 3 Suzuku. This could be 2 if you want to, but you probably will go into 3 more times than not, so you want to be very, very careful with that. Link Spider and Proxy Dragon, these obviously help contribute towards the OTK, and again, I'll show you that during the end of this video. We've then got the one Nightmare Phoenix. This is probably the better one of the 2 between Cerberus and the rest. Discard, get a spell in grave, 1900 beta, and deal with any troublesome back row. For our Link Freeze, we've got the one at Trispania. You don't have to play Trispania. If you want to, you can take that out for a Mermaid. That's basically what that space is there for. The one Unicorn, and then we've got the one Borrelo Dragon and the one Borrelsword Dragon. Borrelsword Dragon, of course, is the OTK capability card, and again, I will show you that in the combo as we go. Borrelo Dragon, if you get Borreloaded, it can be a pain in the ass to deal with, so going into a Borrelo Dragon yourself can sort out very, very easily. And obviously, to get into these guys, you do have to use Link Spider and Proxy Dragon, so they are the step-ups that you need. Okay, so that's the extra deck done. Now I'm going to show you the 2-card OTK combo. And the only 2 cards you need is one Phantom Sky Blaster and one of the busted card in the deck, and that is Sky Striker Mecha Hornet Drones. Now, of course, what you do with this one, you activate Hornet Drones straight away. Hornet Drones turns into the token. You turn the token into your Kagari. Now your Kagari then recycles your Hornet Drones. You then activate your Hornet Drones. Make sure you keep it away from this middle zone here, because that's of course where your Hayate is going to make your Borrelsword. So you activate the drones there. You then get to normal summon your Phantom Sky Blaster. His effect then goes off to give you 3 tokens, because you've got 1, 2, 3 monsters there. So you've got 1, 2, and the 3rd token goes there. There you go, just try and tighten it up a little bit there. You then turn 1 token, so you've got to turn Kagari off first. So first of all, you turn Kagari into your Hayate. Alright, Hayate. You've then got to turn these 2 here. It's very specific on the placements of these, so you've got to be very, very careful, into your Proxy Dragon, and then turn this one here into your Link Spider. You then got to turn these 3 here, because it does require effect monsters. If you turn these 3 here into your Borrelsword Dragon, oh, that should be an attack. So then, hopefully if you've got 3 in graveyard, this is a 1500. If not, you use this as part of the Link fodder, and then you've got one of your 500 attack tokens from your Phantom Sky Blasters. You've got to be very, very careful with exactly what you use, but this is kind of the board you want to be ending with. Basically, Borrelsword needs a card either on your field or your opponent's field that it can turn to defense. Now this is a very, very specific OTK because it does require a lot to do, in the sense that Hayate would then attack directly for 15. Borosword then needs to have the ability to either attack directly twice or have the ability of gaining enough attack to finish your opponent. You would then either attack with a drone or, of course, attack with a Borosword, depending on what your opponent has on board. You would then attack with the drone, then use Borosword's effect, shift it to defense, and then get to attack again with the Borosword, and that is, of course, your game. Again, like I said, depending on whether that's the 500 or not. If it's the 500, you still need to attack with it to poke it for the 500, and then shift it to defense because you don't want to lose that amount of damage. So it's very, very careful and precise of what you've got to do with this deck. But what you've got to remember as well is you kind of want to be clearing your opponent's board off with your afterburners and stuff like that. As soon as you know you've got the OTK on board, that's what you'll start doing, is you'll start using the afterburners. You'll search out your afterburners and you'll just push your plays further forward. There's a lot of searching going on in this deck and you can easily prepare yourself for that OTK play. Anyway, that is it for the deck profile. Yes, Sky Strikers can be a pain in the arse to deal with, and they are very, very expensive to kind of put together. If you've got the money, now's the time to pick them up because they did take a slight dip during the off season. But as now we come back into the new season, they might start to slowly creep up a little bit more. So you've got to be very, very careful of what you go into with this deck. It is a fun deck. It is quite powerful. And it will certainly cause a lot of issues in the upcoming format. Of course, the one thing that we can't compare with the OCG with our Sky Strikers is they haven't had to deal with dangers right now. So it's questionable as to whether or how effective dangers will be in this upcoming meta, but you never know. Until we get our first LLDS or our first proper tournament of the new season, our meta is still kind of undefined in the sense that Goki will probably still take the top route, and there's Trickster Sky Strikers again take another route as well. So the balance will of course dictate that on top of. Anyway, I hope this helped. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's given you an idea of your own Sky Striker build, or just so you put it together and test it against it online so you can prepare yourself for the upcoming Sky Striker matches and work your way that way, how to stop the OTKs, how to stop with their back row, stuff like Twin Twisters, stuff like Hatrunade, deal with all their set back row and stuff like that. But for now, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and until next time guys, as always, happy dueling. Also YouTube, thanks for watching that video. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit that like button, and of course don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button in the bottom left hand corner and the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. We've got more deck profiles, duels, pack openings and many more Yu-Gi-Oh videos coming up for you all year round, so don't forget to stay tuned for all of that. Thanks, and as always guys, happy dueling.